guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm excited to bring you along for the easiest, the quickest, and the no thought process meal of the week. I decided to utilize the garden, the leftovers in the refrigerator, and my extended pantry, and that's how we're going to do it. So I had a half a bag, about 6 ounces of no yolk egg noodles. We're going to put together this delicious skillet meal. I had a yellow squash that I just picked out of the garden this evening, and I'm excited. This is the first one, so we're going to use about half of it in this. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I've got some mushrooms that need to be used up, and these are white button mushrooms, but look at the size of that thing. I have some pepperoncini peppers, and I have French onion soup mix, and then I'm going to mix in the beef broth that this beef made on its own. Actually, I added beef broth to this because this was par cooked beef that I cubed up. I par cooked it and I canned it, and you can see the fat collects on the top. I'm going to go ahead and take that fat off, and this I did earlier this year. This is with a Tadler lid. Always check your seals. Obviously, if it's hanging on like that, it's still sucked down, it's a good seal. I couldn't take this off with my hands if I wanted to. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna make a delicious, kind of a creamy, almost a pot roast in a skillet, if that makes sense. So I'm putting a few of the things that I would normally put in my pot roast, and I'm gonna do a skillet meal. So the first step is I'm gonna cut up this mushroom, and I am going to saute the vegetables just a little bit, just to take that raw edge off. And look at the size of this. And mushrooms have your full day of vitamin D, believe it or not. How do you figure? They're grown in the dark, pretty much, and they give you all that vitamin D. It's all good. Okay, so chop that up, and we like lots of mushrooms because they shrink down, so we're going to do a couple of these bad boys. I've already cut up half my yellow squash from my garden. I've got about 1/4 of a red bell pepper and maybe 1/8 of a red onion that I had left over in the refrigerator. So how easy is this? Let's saute these off in a little bit of butter, and then we're going to come back in and add the rest. And I'm going to cook the pasta right in the skillet. So come on over and let me show you how I do it. So if you're excited about this meal, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And let's maybe share this around, because these are easy, quick weeknight meals that you already have prepped, honestly. You just have to do a couple of little chops and grabs from your pantry, and you're good to go. So I've got actually the fat off the top of that beef, and that was grass-fed ground beef. I looked in my folder, and that was grass-fed ground beef that I canned up earlier. And I'm going to put all my little veggies in here and let these saute down. And trust me when I tell you, Hamburger Helper never tasted this good. I want to add some black pepper. I'm not going to add any salt because of the soup mix, and you could use your homemade soup mix. I do make my own once in a while, but I like to have this on hand as a backup. So I added some fresh, or some black pepper. We love black pepper. And I'll go ahead and add my pepperoncinis right now, and maybe, oh gosh, 1/8 of a cup of sliced pepperoncinis. We really like them, so be as generous as you like. It's a very forgiving recipe idea. It's not even a recipe, it's just an idea. And know that your mushrooms are going to soak up all that oil, so don't add any more oil. It doesn't need it. And it's going to be so good. So as soon as I get these sauteed down and sweated down nice, then I'll go ahead and add the broth from the meat, some additional water, my soup mix, and my pasta, and let that just cook away. I'm going to add the meat at the very last to heat it through. It's totally cooked, and I don't want it to fall apart too much because it's very, very fall apart tender, if you know what I mean. So there you go. All right, so we'll be back in a second. Okay, guys, so I've got my veg all kind of broke down. Now I'm gonna add the liquid from my beef, and I was trying to figure out how much this might have cost me. So let's say this is, I know this is less than a pound because it was par cooked, but let's just, for kicks and giggles, say I got this on sale for, I know what I got it for, but I'm gonna say I got this maybe 12 ounces of this beef for, let's say, $4. So we're gonna say $4. We're gonna say 50 cents for the pasta, 50 cents for the soup mix, and veg out of my garden, the veg that were left over that would probably get thrown away, just so you know. We'll add another $1 to that and add that up. People, this is so easy, and this will easily feed a family of 4. So add your soup mix in at this point, and then I'm going to add some additional water because we have to cook the pasta down. And the nice thing is, I'm not necessarily measuring the water. If you add too much water, all you have to do is let it cook a little longer, and my husband isn't home yet, so that'll be fine. We're gonna add just a bit more, and add your pasta in so it can cook, and then right before that pasta is done, I'm gonna add that beef in there to heat through. How easy is this? And you could add at the end a dollop of sour, and I will probably top it with a dollop of sour cream for Michael, and yum! Who doesn't want this for dinner? And I'm gonna go ahead and add some more of that water. I wanna make sure we have your pasta kind of nestled down. And if you've ever made Hamburger Helper, which really they're selling you a box of spices and maybe not even 6 ounces of pasta, and you have to add the meat, you have to do everything anyway, so you might as well make up your own recipe. And I know a lot of people are scared to make up their own recipes for a lot of things, but it makes it your own. It's delicious. Now you can cover this with a lid, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover it with my splatter screen that kind of holds the moisture in, and just let this cook, stirring occasionally. Add my beef towards, you know, once the pasta starts cooking, and then we're done, and dinner is served. I'm going to serve this alongside a little side salad and some marinated cucumbers, and we're good to go. Delicious dinner ready in minutes. All right, guys. Oh, don't forget to check the links below, because I'll have a link to this Lodge cast iron skillet. This is one of my favorite skillets. This is a 12-inch skillet, and it retains the heat very evenly. I mean, it's got a hot spot over here. All cast iron kind of does that. But if you know where it is, then you just turn your pan. So, or stir your product. And last night we used this. I had chucker cutlets that were amazing. And so tonight we're having this skillet meal and getting a lot more use out of it. This is pretty much all I use is cast iron, stainless steel, or enamel coated cast iron. I don't use anything else. All right, guys, we'll be back. Okay, guys, so I decided, you know what? I need to utilize a little bit more of the garden. I went out there and I picked just a little bit of the baby greens. Now, this is a mixture of Swiss chard. I have the red Swiss chard and some mustard greens, and when they're young, they're so tender and delicious. Came in, washed it off, chopped it up, in the pot it goes, right next to the meat. And these noodles are almost cooked all the way through. This will wilt down, and what a healthy way to have a skillet meal. And the sauce that in the bottom of the pan from the starch in the pasta, it's just creating a really... Okay, guys, so I know you can see how delicious this looks. I've got greens, I've got meat, I've got pasta, and no yolk pasta, so it's a little healthier cholesterol-wise. The beef is tender and fall apart. Little dollop of sour cream on the top. Take a bite. Oh my goodness. I love the vegetables from the garden and the refrigerator. Oh. Wow. The Swiss chard and the mustard greens add a little bit more depth of flavor and makes it feel a whole lot healthier. And what an easy meal to put together. So I hope this inspires you to cook in tonight. Even if you don't know what's for dinner, if you've prepped ahead and you have things on your shelf, that meat was right there waiting, it's fully cooked. All I had to do was throw a few things together for a quick and easy skillet meal that is absolutely delicious. I'm super excited to have this for dinner tonight, and a comfort meal on its own. This is a huge serving. I just did this for presentation, but I'll probably eat about half of this, some salad, and some of the cucumbers. So good and super easy. Don't buy that box stuff. To it. Add whatever you can to make it a little bit better, a little more appealing, and your family will love it. And stretch that dollar as far as you can, because this really was for under $5. We have a meal that I can feed 6 with. Well, 4 if this is all we had, but beings we're having salad and vegetable. We can easily feed 6 people. So I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. Garden update. Puppies, oh, I only have one left. He's going home Friday. I'll try to do one more update with him and Mama because they're so sweet together. But yeah, no more puppies for a while. Phew, work's over. It's a lot of work, but a lot of love. So anyway, I'll see you next time. And don't forget, check the links below because I'm going to leave a link to that cast iron skillet and maybe a couple other things. Go check out my Facebook page, join me over there, and leave me a comment and let me know if you've ever made something like this. And if you haven't, you got a picture, post it. All right, guys.